Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace reporting live here at the Iridium Jazz Club here in New York City. Saxophonist Javon Jackson, who's played with the likes of great jazz luminaries like Freddie Hubbard to Art Blakey, is paired up with one of his mentors and dear friends, Mr. Les McCann. Les recorded an album in 1969 with the late Eddie Harris called Swiss Movement, which was recorded live at the Montreux Jazz Festival. And the two never played together, but this live performance was really something very, very magical. And it also was another introduction of really soul jazz crossing over mainstream. Tonight, Les and I are going to sit down and talk about the very important aspects of Swiss Movement. We're going to talk about the pivotal record on that album called Compared to What, and how that record now in 2011 is very prevalent versus when it came out in 1969, as well as talk about his career, how he's been able to uniquely put all genres of black music in his repertoire, whether it's blues, whether it's soul, whether it's fusion, whether it's straight ahead jazz. Les has been able to meet all genres of black music. So glad to see you back in New York, and I think now it's very, very interesting how people are going back to Swiss Movement, and they're going back to Compared to What. Thinking back now over 40 years, do you think that record now is very relevant versus when it came out in 1969?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Of course. I mean, that's the answers there. That'd be the kind of song that could be around a long, long time, because it talks about what we always, on a regular basis, go through. You know, the challenges in life and how we deal with it and what people say to us. So a song like that is, you know, you didn't know it at the time, but it's very relevant, you know, so what the heck.
How is it that Gene McDaniels approached you, or what was it that you saw about the song before you recorded it that was just, it stuck out?
It didn't stick out. It was just one of many great songs that he wrote. He was writing songs, and everything he wrote I liked. I mean, that just happened to be the one that finally, when it came to me, what we ought to do with it was in Montreux. That was it. You know, he's got 100, 200 more songs just like it, just as good. But that was the one that stuck to me, and after 6 years, it took me long enough to, it hit me one day. Now I know what to do with this song. And it happened on the bandstand, spontaneous. Well, the fact that both Eddie and I were both on Atlantic Records, we both had been invited to come to the festival. We really didn't know each other, or just spoke to each other. I'd go see him play, he'd come see me, but it was suggested, since you guys are on the same label, why don't you make a record together? And he said, I already got the title, Swiss Movement, which is a good idea. And that's when Eddie and I first got together. You know?
And those 6 songs, how did you guys know that you guys were going to, because Cold Duck Time was really the first time you saw that was on the bandstand.
Well, same thing again. The band didn't show up to rehearsal. The plane got in late, and Eddie and I were just the only ones there. So almost everything we did on that thing that was the first time, and we just happened to have a good groove going where it was even better than we ever thought it was, because I walked away very angry, upset at the band, didn't play the song right and bun. I'm back at the hotel. I get off the phone. I'd already called my wife and said, damn it, I want to come home. She said, well, how do you know what happened? Come back, they were all knocking on my door. Get back over here to the stage and hear these tapes. You won't believe it, and it was true. So, you know, it was fantastic, extremely well recorded and captured everything we didn't even know we did, because we were stumbling through everything we thought, you know. So that was it.
Tonight, you brought out a very good dear friend of yours, Mr. Javon Jackson, and you guys go back a long time. What is it about Javon that really is keeping the spirit of jazz and just the music alive?
Well, he's a very nice, fine person and straight and not into anything that I would be into, you know. I have to keep myself up all the time, and he keeps us all straight because he takes care of business. and he looks out for me, looks out for the guys. He likes the guys he has playing with him. So I don't really know him. I'm getting to know him. I met him when he was 17 years old. And he told me then he wanted me to play in his band. And I just took it as a, nice thing to hear. And years later, he said, "You remember me?" And no. I'm blah, blah, blah. What? So when I got out of the hospital, I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought my career was over in a sense. And I don't know how I got a hold. He called me up. "Hey, man, you remember me?" "What?" "No, you said you're going to play in my..." I said, "I'm ready." And he did. So I'm glad he puts up with what I do, because I don't think it would work anywhere else, because most of the time I'm in such severe pain, that I can't, he lets me work it out, because it's not a matter of just saying get off the bandstand, but I can always do something that blends in with what's going on, So I just really appreciate this situation, and as always, God is looking out for me, giving me a situation that's perfect for me. Don't work too much, so not wiped out of being on the road 6 months in one shot. We go out for a little while, we do a few things, we go to other countries when we can. I don't know if I haven't been out with this band, but we just came back from Hawaii. It was fantastic. Plus, it's just different for me, because just playing with guys who are this good, they're all excellent musicians, and I just love it. Well, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. I was blind, I was in trouble. On the ground, I had God to look at me, bring me back around, 'cause it's love, it's love. How about everybody turning around and saying hello to somebody you never met before? Shake hands with somebody, turn around. And now I see. Nobody did. That's unbelievable.
One of the things I admire about you is that you've been able to take all forms of black music and kind of fused it into everything that you've recorded. Musically, how have you been able to make that happen? Because it's been a very, very unique selling point for you.
Well, that's the way I am as a person. That's just what it is. God gives you the gifts, and you take it where it goes. And I love being different. I love being not one of everybody else, things that I do. I love challenging things that I can't do, would like to do, and all that. So that always puts me in a position to be either new or at least on the road to something new, So it's a beautiful thing. It's not an intellectual thing to talk about. This is all intuitive and all based on feelings and things like that. So we know it, and we just allow it to be. We don't talk about it. It's not to be talked about. It's Like I said, how do you paint Van Gogh? Oh, really? What do I do? No, you can't put things like that in words, you know. That's why we do it so other people, and they can do all the things they want to say about it and have their own opinions, you know, which everybody has an opinion.
Les, you've never been formally trained as a musician, and when you left the military, you went to California to start your first unit, and I think your start was at Pacific Jazz Records, and Dick Bach gave you an opportunity to voice what you were trying to say.
Well, I was #1 in town, playing in all the clubs, and it was just a matter of time when somebody would come and say, we want to record you. It wasn't that they were giving, I mean, the people that I grew up with business-wise didn't think what we were doing was good at all, you know, and so they did it because so many people liked us, and they said, well, maybe something there, but I sure ain't into it myself, the owner of the company. But once we sold more records than they'd ever sold, he realized that. But everybody's jazz is very personal. What you might like over here, I may not like, you know. So, but I'm just thankful for the gifts, the time in my life when I'm a part of this world we live in, and be expressing something that is relevant to people that are out there, you know.
I think two of the most important records you recorded on Atlantic was a gem called Invitation to Openness.
Oh, yeah.
And Layers.
My favorite records. Of all the records I made, those two are my favorites. Because I had an idea once again. This is what we're going to do. And it came in an image, you know, a dream. And I finally found the right cats to do it. It's just like, you know, you don't plan these things, they happen. And fortunately, I had good people, Joel, and he was a young guy on. He was open to all the things that was new, and wasn't going around saying, "Don't do that. We don't like to do what you did on the last record." No, so there's a whole makeup, all that went with that. Every part of it was all part of the whole. It was a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing.
Layers is pretty much, and also Invitation to Openness was pretty much the introduction of the electric keyboards in electronic jazz fusion.
Yes, true. Layers was considered by some as an engineering, great thing that happened. The engineer, He did not say no to me. He didn't say I can't do that, because I was telling him what I had in mind. And now he had to figure out how we could get that on tape. And basically I did the layers by myself. You know, I played all the instruments and recorded, and the band was standing there and saying, "You got it. We don't want to do nothing. You play the drum. You know what it is." And it just all worked out perfectly. It was unbelievable. You know.
You know, everyone loves your voice.
Well, some people do. Yeah.
And I just need to know, who were some of your musical and vocal influences?
Aretha Franklin, Nat King Cole, Louis Armstrong, Mahalia Jackson, James Cleveland, all the great gospel singers. That's how I grew up in Kentucky. That's what we heard. It was the music of our church. I wasn't into any singers. You know, I just liked what was on the radio, you know. Man forced me to sing. He said, I heard you playing that song. What was that? He said, "That's the song I wrote. I was trying to show it." He said, "Why don't you do it?" "What do you mean do it?" "You sing it or something." And once that record came out, I've been singing ever since.
You know, another one of your great vocal records is that record you did with the Gerald Wilson Orchestra. And, yeah. I mean, just singing behind that swinging band, and plus Gerald wrote some dynamic arrangements.
Those are all my arrangements.
What was that like, and how did you guys pair up?
We all with World Pacific Records. It was like a family there, you know. We all worked with each other. When the Crusaders came out of Texas, nobody had ever heard of them. Well, if they were on my record, Les McCann presents the Crusaders. Les McCann presents Gerald Wilson. Les McCann presents Roberta Flack. Les McCann presents Lou Rawls. You know, I didn't always get the credit I should have gotten if I know what I know now, you know. Lou was coming around trying to sing with us all the time. He loved the groove. So when he got his first contract, and he told the people, "Hey, well, there's this blah, 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 a guy over here, this is work." So they called me, "Hey, whatever you want, we'll give it to you. Come make this record." And we did. And we finished it in one night, one whole record. It was one of the most amazing things we ever did. I don't think we even did 2 takes on any song. Just did it and went right through it. Yeah, it was a magical night, you know. My whole life's been magical, so I'm just, like I said, thankful, thankful, thankful.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the Iridium here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank Mr. Javon Jackson as well as Mr. Les McCann for their time, as well as the staff and management here at the Iridium. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace. Oh.